Mic on. Your mic is active.
Right?
Mic on. So
That's a
you
bit
see
small, okay, that's a small light.
mic on, yep.
Okay. Can you hear me? Is everybody ready?
I think we're ready to go.
Okay, it's 3:02, so we'll call the meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody back downtown to In Presence. Feel like I'm on the Starship Enterprise. A little bit different than previously, but we'll make it work. Let's see. The first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda, I guess. Approve the minutes, we don't have to approve the agenda? Okay. Okay. Approve minutes. Well, the minutes, there's one correction to the minutes.
All right, so Mr. Beatty, you say there's a correction?
Yeah, there's a very minor correction. It's just my name is misspelled. It says clearance instead of clearance.
Yes, we will get that corrected.
I'm not a sale, but
Yeah. Yes.
okay, now we can vote.
So we have a motion and a second. If you'll vote now. So Mr. Cunningham votes yes. I don't know if you all want to abstain or if you want to vote since you weren't here for the last meeting.
Yeah, they would have.
Abstain, okay, that's fine. All right, so Dina, did you catch that? That the Mr. Fuller and Mr. Ferguson are going to abstain, and Mr. Cunningham votes yes. Do we have everything then? There we go, so it passed.
Okay, motion passed. Let's see. We can move to the items for consideration. Item A.
Yeah. Chad Meisenberg from Public Works will help us out here with these items to consider.
I can't.
Oh, let's see. Can't hear you there. I don't know if the microphone.
Where's the button?
That's working now. Yeah.
I'm breaking stuff. Here we go. Going. Let's go to your next one. Two more. There you go. The items to be considered today. We have 4 requests. One in traffic, one's a street enhancement project, one's a sidewalk project, and one's a facilities project. So, one more time.
I still can't hear you.
If you can speak up just a little bit, it's kind of hard to hear back here behind the plexiglass.
Okay, can you hear me now? There we go. So our first project is the signalization of Britton Road and State Highway 4 intersection. It's indicated there in pink. Recently, we just resurfaced Britton Road and then, of course, Mustang Road, which is in the green. There is a school located on the intersection of Britton and Mustang, and that's the request was that this is of their request to go ahead and signalize that intersection today. So. Any questions?
Any questions about the? Okay, we'll hear a motion for approval.
So Mr. Cunningham motioned,
Second.
second from Mr. Cross.
Okay.
All right, so now if you'll vote.
Vote.
And then are you all, okay, Mr. Ferguson and Mr. Fuller in favor, yes? And Mr. Cunningham, I guess, yes.
Okay, motion passed. Item B.
Okay. This next project is a street enhancements project. During the ice storm, we lost quite a bit of our trees along the boulevard, so this is just a replacement of those trees, the funds to be requested to do so. Any questions?
No questions? Okay, do we have a motion for approval?
Mr. Cunningham moved that. And, oh, okay, oh, yes, I got it.
Second.
So I guess Mr. Cunningham would be a yes, and Mr. Fuller and Mr. Ferguson also yes.
Okay, motion passed. Item C.
So item 3C is this is a partnership with a private company here in town, and it's the sidewalks along along Reno Avenue, west of Lincoln Boulevard. If you look on the screen, Lincoln Boulevard is the north-south street. It tees into East Reno, and where you can see those, the gray, the darker gray, that would be the proposed sidewalk, which is right there at the Circle K gas station. So any questions?
So this would be $25,000 from the 07 bond issue. I'm sorry, $5,000 from the 07 and $20,000 from the 2017. And what is the partner putting into this project?
I'm sorry, Doug.
How much is the partner?
It's a 50-50.
Okay, they're doing
partnership.
half the cost?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any additional questions? Okay, motion for approval.
Mr. Cunningham said he would second that. Very good.
Second.
And I guess we have the yes vote from Fuller and Ferguson and Cunningham.
Okay, vote. Okay, motion carries. Item D.
Okay, item 3D, it's a police and fire headquarters police headquarters demolition, sorry about that. As you can see on your screen, there's two different colors. The red is indicating that's the old jail, and we're not touching that. It's just the area that's hatched in yellow. And so these funds would be allocated to demo that, just the Oklahoma City Police Headquarters, the old, so. Any questions?
Why are we demoing, why are they demoing that area?
I don't know if you want to answer, Chad, or I could answer.
Sorry, I did.
So the demolition is required because the new court and new police headquarters have been built adjacent to those locations, and they need the space in the middle for parking for courts and for police.
Okay, so
Those buildings are obsolete and are not being used. At this point, they've been declared surplus.
okay, so it'll be, parking is what it'll be repurposed for?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Doug's going to do that one.
All right.
You have a motion for approval?
Mr. Ferguson, I'm sorry, Mr. Fuller made the motion. Sorry, I'm getting the two Fs confused here. Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Fuller made the motion.
Second? Okay, second?
Yes, got that.
Okay. Let's vote.
And I think, I'm assuming a yes from the threes, they're not logged in. All right, very good.
Okay, motion carries. Let's see, what's next?
Yeah, we just got the information.
Okay, informational, you got the bond executive summary?
Right. So I'd be happy to present that. I'm Doug Dowler. I'm the budget director for the city. Erica Vandersijpen normally would be in this spot. She's taken a promotion to our IT department. And Letitia Jackson, who's back there, is taking over for her. But she hasn't been to a meeting yet, so I am sitting in for her just with a little more familiarity with the meeting. And so on the executive summary that you have before you, this just kind of gives you a picture of where we are in our GEO bond projects. Right now, this is through December 31st. We're always a little bit behind on our financial reporting in terms of where we went, where we've been. In December, $6,129,000 was spent in GEO bond projects. For the fiscal year, our fiscal year is July 1 through June 30th. We've spent $33.9 million roughly. And if you look at a 12-month rolling average, we've been spending about $8.4 million per month on our GEO bond projects, and it's been $100.5 million that's been expended for the last 12 months. This box 2 that's on here looks at our expenditure requirement. By IRS rules, we're required to spend 85% of our bond proceeds within 3 years. And so that's what we're tracking with this report here, is to see how are we doing on getting to that 85% mark. And so the 2018 sale that we did, so far we have $86.9 million and we've spent 53.5, so we're at 61%. And then you can see for each of the other sale years there for 2019, for 2020, much smaller percentages, but again, we have more time to get that spent. And then just as kind of an informational item, again, below that are kind of where we were on the 3 bond issues that were on the clock, if you will, last year. So at this point last year, we were at 44%, 9%, and 3%. So you can see Public Works has been spending the money more rapidly on these 3 years, and so we're further ahead on getting this money expended on time for IRS requirements. Box 3 kind of talks about where the money is that hasn't been spent. You can see the first number there is assigned but not encumbered. That means it's assigned to a project, but a contract has not been let yet to begin work on that project. So we've got $95 million that's targeted for specific projects, but for various reasons, it's in different stages of progress. Those funds have not been encumbered. We have a listed control account. A control account means it's for a general purpose, such as streets, parks, drainage, those types of things, but it hasn't been assigned to a project yet. And then we have unlisted control, and that's, again, unlisted money. Those are projects that would come before this board. If a new project were proposed, it would have to come here for approval as an unlisted project. And same with unassigned interest. The interest that we earn on our bonds is listed there. So it's a total of just under $115 million. And then we kind of provide this for city management, other funds that are available for similar types of work. We have a little bit in a capital fund for various projects, $1.7 million. The Better Streets, Safer City sales tax still has about $11.5 million that hasn't been allocated. And then we have $18.7 million in impact fees that can only be used for traffic improvements in those areas of town where the impact fees have been collected, or for parks and trails, again, in those certain areas of the city where the impact fee has been collected. So this is more just kind of some information we generally provide to city management to kind of where things are, and so we provide this to you all just as kind of a point of information. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any. So, okay.
That's probably a lot, especially we have some new members, so
Yeah.
it may be, I think it would be helpful if there was some way we could, and I'm not sure how to do this, but provide some opportunity for education on GO bonds and why the IRS requirements are what they are and all that
Right.
business, because, you know, there's not really time to do that here, but
Yeah.
it can get pretty complex, but it's helpful to really understand the numbers.
Yeah.
When I was working, I was into this stuff a lot more, but I've slept since then, so I could look. So I don't know if, I'll maybe talk to our secretary about that later, see if
Right.
there's a way to figure out,
Yeah.
you know, maybe a session or something.
Right, we've done that before. We have kind of something like a little workshop, maybe on a month when we don't have a lot of business. We might spend a little bit more time talking about GO bonds, how they operate, how we,
Yeah.
what the requirements are, and kind of the role, again, of this board and how that relates to those funds. We'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, and why the IRS is involved.
Sure,
'cause
yeah.
Since they're tax exempt bonds, the
Right.
IRS is really running the show.
Yes,
on
sir.
these things, but, okay. New business. I guess it's time for nomination and election of officers for the year. You know, I'll be willing to serve as chairman for another year if you would like, or if you want to elect somebody else, that's fine. But we need a vice chairman, because right now I don't think we have one. So nomination, anybody want to make nominations for these? These are our only two officers.
That's
aren't they?
correct.
I will be interested in the vice chairman position.
I can't
So
hear
if
you.
we're allowed to self-nominate, I will self-nominate.
I can't hear what you said.
She said she'd be willing to do vice chair.
Okay, well, do we have any other nomination? Well, we need to nominate
Yeah, if you want to, I think we could, if you want to nominate a kind of a slate of yourself and Ms.
Okay,
Cox
well,
Turek.
I'll nominate myself and Ms. Turek as chairman and vice chairman. Anybody have any questions about that? I can see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's call for the vote.
We gotta do that.
Yep. Let's see, I guess they're. And Mr. Cunningham seconded, if you, yeah. Beatty is, yes. All right, there we go. And I guess we have a yes from Mr. Ferguson, Mr. Fuller, and Mr. Cunningham.
Okay, motion passes.
Congratulations.
Does that mean I get a pay raise this
That's yeah,
time?
double your pay, that's right.
Okay. Okay, items from committee members. Anybody have any?
I think we have one.
I do have a question. I don't know if
Okay.
my mic is on. And this may be directed towards staff. Could someone just maybe explain a little bit about maintenance of the tire tracks and the train tracks regarding, specifically on Hefner, we have a train track that has I think, caused some damage around the street system, which is causing damages to tires. I guess that's how I put those two together. Is that business for this potential committee that we could talk more about that? Or is that even a city's responsibility?
Debbie Miller with Public Works. We work with the railroads, and we actually have that scheduled. We've been working with BNSF to coordinate and get the street and the tracks fixed. So we're hoping to get that started this month.
Perfect.
So that's a good question, just good timing.
Thank you.
But Debbie, just to clarify, that is something the railroad companies are responsible for the track area. Is that correct, or can?
Yes, they're responsible for the tracks, and we're responsible for the paving
Okay.
up to the tracks. So, and it would, if we didn't have funds available, if it exceeded a small amount, we would come to you, because we'd probably use unlisted funds and request that to pay for that. So it may be something that you might see in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, any other items from committee members? Okay, citizens to be heard. I don't see any citizens. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, I guess, do we have to vote on adjournment?
I don't believe we have to, no, I think we can just
Okay,
be
well, we're
adjourned.
adjourned then.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we made it through this first Star Trek meeting.
Adjourned.